So are you considering actually looking at that move between San Francisco and Las Vegas and wondering about what that's going to do for your cost of living? We've got the numbers right here next. Hi, I'm Mike with Snowbird Nation, brokered by eXp Realty. And if you're thinking about that move to Las Vegas, click the link below and pick up our relocation guide. Let's jump into it. Here are the numbers. So when I start looking at San Francisco versus Las Vegas, there's a lot of very stark contrasts that are going to come about. So let's go ahead and start looking at those categories. The first category is the overall spending category, if you will. When we start looking at that difference, we are looking at about a 48.9% difference that you're going to be spending less in Las Vegas. I don't know about you, but just from an overall standpoint, if I have the option of having a really great lifestyle and spending 48.9% less out of my pocket to enjoy that lifestyle, I'd rather be in Vegas. Now, although it may not mean much when we're actually looking at 10% here, 10% there, but 10% can really add up over the course of a lot of different categories. Food and groceries, you're gonna spend about 9.3, so nearly 10% less in Las Vegas. And if I get the chance to save even an extra 10% on a very regular basis, that's 10% I could be spending on entertainment, saving for my retirement, whatever it might be, but that's money in my pocket, not going out someplace else. Now let's talk about the big one. If I am truly looking at homes, housing, and of course, this is where our expertise lies. So believe me when I say we look at these numbers pretty closely. San Francisco, Las Vegas. If I'm looking at approximately the same type of house comparatively from one to the other type of house now, I am over $1 million for the median list price of one and around $310,000 for the median list price in Las Vegas. So if the median list price for a house in Las Vegas is $310,000, and the median list price is over $1 million in San Francisco, which would you rather have if it's the same kind of house? For me, I'd rather not spend the $1 million on one house, but perhaps buy 2 or 3 houses here in Las Vegas, make 2 of them income producing properties, and then perhaps not have to worry about where I'm gonna work next. On balance, we are going to find some areas, of course, where San Francisco might actually come out ahead when we talk about the categories and the cost of living. Interesting enough, one of those categories happens to be utilities. You are going to spend probably about 16% more on utilities here in Las Vegas. But after we just had this conversation about housing, that 16% seems awfully negligible. That same balance that we're talking about off and on, again, another 10%-ish. We're looking at every 10% counts because it's money in our pocket. We're going to save probably about 11% on transportation costs here in Las Vegas when compared to San Francisco. So when we look at that 11%, we actually tie that into the 16% we just talked about where San Francisco has a little bit of an edge. What if I add another 13% on in terms of Las Vegas edging out in healthcare costs? You're going to save about 13% in healthcare costs right here in Vegas when compared to San Francisco. You take that 26% now, makes that 16%, that much more negligible, and all of a sudden, on balance, Las Vegas is looking pretty good. So what kind of house are you actually going to get for your dollar figure? We talked earlier about the median list price or the median price of a home in each of those cities where the same home's going to cost you between $310,000 in Las Vegas and over $1 million in San Francisco. But what about that price range there when we say $290,000 to $310,000? What's that going to get you from city to city? Here in Las Vegas, you're going to wind up with a house that's going to be 3 bedrooms, possibly 4. You're going to wind up with 1 to 2 baths, and you're looking at a swimming pool in a single family home. In San Francisco, as of this recording, for between $290,000 and $310,000, 2 condos are even listed. You can't get anything for that price range in San Francisco. It just doesn't exist. And of those two are going to be condos with over $900 a month in HOA fees. That's Homeowners Association. Yes, it might have a pool, but on balance, where am I going to have a much better lifestyle? I think Las Vegas is coming out really far ahead here. So if you're interested in your move to Las Vegas, click the link below to get our relocation guide. And remember, only you can make your real estate dreams take flight.